Covering music-related content of all genres. If it filters through Eastern Texas, it's fair game. Y'all bring it. From Texarkana down to the coast and Dallas down to Houston and everything in between. We are ETX ROCKS! Hit the brakes. Cut. Hey y'all, this is Boston Chris. Welcome to another brand new episode of the ETX ROCKS podcast. I'm sitting here with one of my favorite bands in all of East Texas. They're called, well, I'll tell you what they're called here in a little while. But they are by far one of my favorite bands. As you guys might know, I have a relationship with some bands here in the East Texas area. And these folks are not always in East Texas, but they are right now. And we took the opportunity to sit and record a podcast with them. I'm sitting here with the David Smith from Longview, Texas.
It's the David Smith.
The David Smith. And Kira Annalise and Willie Heath Neal, both hailing from Atlanta, Georgia. David Smith is a second-generation musician who is keeping country music alive one song at a time.
That's right.
Sasquatch Slim plays a heavy schedule of shows locally, both solo and with the Double Nickel Band. His recently released EP, titled Can't You See, is available now. With a voice that draws you in and a smile that you can't help but return, Kira Annalise brings music to life.
About David. I'm like, oh, back alive.
It's me this time.
Kira brings music to life with her own unique twist on the old-time favorites. With 10 years in the business, Kira has a self-titled EP that was released in 2011 and is working hard on a full-length album currently. Willie Heath Neal is signed to Chicken Ranch Records out of Austin, Texas. He has performed with artists such as Dale Watson, Hank Williams III, Reverend Horton Heat, Junior Brown, David Allen Coe, Steve Earle, and many, many more. Willie has 5 albums under his belt and has toured into Europe and South America. His upcoming album, South Americana, was partially recorded in Brazil.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, David brings the conviction, Willie brings the energy, Kira brings the allure. Together, they are known as the $37 Trio.
Woo.
Whoa.
Pretty good stuff right there, right?
I like it.
So we got to give credit to Louise, my girlfriend, for putting that together, helping put that together. So on your Facebook, it says that you guys offer acoustic Americana hillbilly music. So what does that mean?
I'm offended by the word acoustic.
Well, I'm taking it from your own Facebook, so
There's a lot of. I think it's just it is a way to say how eclectic it goes from one of us to the next. It's all very classic country, something the guys do.
But one of the things about it is, it's just what happens when you get together and there's nothing contrived or contrived the word I'm looking for.
We didn't try for
We didn't try for any of it. It just
and
kind of started happening, and then the Double Nickel guys came along.
This was all easy. It
was easy. It was all organic.
right.
Yeah, totally organic.
So there's a plethora of words to describe it.
Those are a lot of syllables this early in the broadcast. I have to tell you. So we're just about tapped out on syllables.
It's a hillbilly gumbo, if you will.
Hillbilly jambalaya.
I mean, we've got contrived and plethora, and we're only 3 minutes and 16 seconds in.
Look, we're smart.
Those all came from Willie, too.
Yeah.
He's done till August then.
I'm like, George Clooney, no brother, where are they? They say, any of you fellas Smitty?
So 2 of y'all live in Georgia, and one of you lives in Texas. So tell us how that happened. How'd that all come together?
I'm going to let you boys start.
Divorce, personal question.
David used to live in Georgia, and Willie and David got together. They became friends. Hush. They were friends long before I came into the picture, and I don't care about that part of their lives because when I got there, everything was made beautiful.
I don't recall any of this.
We all met. We were part of this huge ensemble who will remain nameless.
You mean No Count Lucas?
Yeah, the No Count Lucas. I forgot the name for a second.
No, she just couldn't pronounce it. And Willie's on point today.
Willie's
so.
the brilliant one. So,
beating the hell out of country music was our logo.
Yeah.
Was our logo.
There were like 15 people in the band, and we were 3 of them, and the 3 of us stuck around when the rest kind of went away, and we all stayed close and stayed friends.
And David moved out here, and I had a tour to the West Coast. I had a tour all the way to New Mexico, but I canceled some of it, but I kept some of the dates, and this was one of the dates. And I showed up, and Kira, it was just me, so Kira and I came along, and I didn't tell Kira, it's like, hey, you're going to get up and play my shows. I'm like, go do it. She's
because he knows how nervous I get. I didn't sound like that. I didn't do that.
No, you did
I
great.
did.
And then David would get up and do some, we'd all rotate, then we kind of started doing it all together.
So what you're trying to say is Kira's first performance was kind of an opposite of what Mel Tillis does.
And the first place that we played was Jefferson, Texas.
Yep. So we got it.
And Willie and I have the zip code to Jefferson tattooed on us.
But we all have the $37 trio.
We do have $37 trio tattoos. You can't see them because we're on the dadgum radio.
Yeah, they said it would look good on radio when they tattooed it on.
It looks really good on the radio.
It looked good on radio.
That's right. They told me I have a face for radio, and that's why I'm doing this.
Now it's your job.
I know.
They told me I had the voice for Braille, so.
There you go. Speaking of Braille, why do they put Braille on those drive-up ATM machines?
Do you want to know the real reason? I know that's a
Yeah.
sarcastic question.
Go ahead.
But there was one mold made for those drive-up ATM machines, and it was cheaper to continue that mold than to make new ones.
Oh, okay.
So sorry to ruin your joke, Barnes.
Well, then the first mold was wrong.
It was wrong.
Clearly.
Do you have another question for us, or did we just ramble all over the
Well, there's lots of questions, believe me. All right, so probably the chief question that everybody asks, right? How did you come up with the name?
We're not allowed to tell.
Should we tell all the stories or the real one?
The real one.
The real one.
Okay.
Tell the real one. It's Steve Earle.
There's a Steve Earle song.
All Guitar Talent. Like
And in the middle of that song, he says,
everybody told me you can't get far.
$37 in a Jack guitar.
Nice.
So that's us.
There you go.
$37 trio.
Yeah, that's about what all of us have in our pockets.
and we know we're not going to get very far.
We beat it. We got a nice guitar. We saw this homeless guy walking around like a Martin. And we were like, what the hell? This is unfair.
New
so
shoes on and a Martin.
We beat him up and took his Martin. So now we got.
None of that
Now we got
happened.
an expensive guitar too.
None of that happened.
So yeah, every time, sometimes I'm booking and people will be like, so they're the $37 trio, so how much do you charge? I'm like, more than that, I promise you.
Well, what we used to tell people was that we all wanted to get drunk one night, and we pulled all our money together, and all we could come up with was $37. So we got wasted.
Hey, it's better than I wanted to call it the $3,700 trio.
There were a lot of things.
Well, maybe in a few years,
You're setting your expectations quite high.
maybe in a few years you just name it that and call it inflation. And,
We're the $37 million trio.
What is $37 million and 28 cents?
The 37 small
and climbing
Oh my
in a
God.
rudder.
So what would you guys say makes the $37 trio stand out?
We have fun.
We do have a lot of fun.
We have a lot of fun on stage. You won't go to a show anywhere and see
Yeah.
any group get up and have as much fun.
Yeah,
Whereas
it is
Willie
very opera
says-
style with just a joke cracking.
Willie says it's the only time you can get country and comedy in the same place.
Yeah, that's right. You tell me somewhere else that's happening, we'll all go. Yeah.
If you're not
And the only thing missing from this Hee Haw show is the studio set cornstalks that separate us during bad jokes. But it's pretty Hee Haw.
Yeah, it's very Hee Haw.
We've even been known to bring a couple of hound dogs to the show.
Should we name them?
Should we name them?
Hey, no selfless promotion for the hound dogs.
It doesn't get more hee haw than having somebody in your band named Dog Panties.
Yeah. Pretty true, actually.
Hey, it's got a fox and a dog panty.
Yeah. We got Fine Time Fox. and
It's too true. It is too true.
And how about those guys, man? Those,
John Fox and Dave Stefano.
Yeah.
Doghouse Dave.
Because we were doing, once we added those guys, even you came on, we all did this just like three vocals, three guitars, but we all knew, it's like, man, we got to add. It's like this, who knew? We knew that, we didn't realize that, man, it would pick up the bigger venues with your help and stuff too. It's like, man, we can't go in there with just three, we got to have an actual something behind it.
And people love it. I mean, here locally in East Texas, I mentioned at the top that y'all are one of my favorite bands.
Thank you.
I don't just say that because you're my friends. I say that because, honest to God, there's nothing else here like y'all.
Yeah, well,
There really isn't.
I don't know of another band around here that play real country music here in East Texas.
Well, I mean,
There may
there
be
is
some
here and
around
there,
further out,
but
there-
yeah, there is here and there, but I mean, it's not as organic as what y'all bring
No.
to the table at all. You know, it's not even close. You know, I mean,
none of us take ourselves very seriously at all.
And we put a semi-structured, like, song-wise, but we start to get
it kind of
a
happens.
little bit.
well, it's pretty cool too how you guys kind of add that song swapping element to it too.
Yeah.
You know, which is like, man, a friend of mine, Becky, just went to y'all's show for the first time at the Sandbar Saturday night, and she stuck around through the first 2 acts just to hear a set from y'all. I'm sure she probably mentioned it to you. And I mean, she came over to the next bar that we were at, and she was like, "Oh my God, where are they next?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
And a photographer buddy of mine that I know you guys met, Micah White,
Micah's doing good
first
work.
time at Sandbar, and he followed y'all to the next show.
I got to get the paper. That guy was hiding in the bushes this morning.
He followed
Come on, man.
to the next show, and he's going to be there at a couple more of our shows
I
this
called him in the
run.
bathroom window.
And
He
Micah's
came to
really
the
cool.
house.
He supports local music big time. Tries to get as many pictures out there.
And you know
things
what,
like
man?
that.
What? Just kind of stepping away. There's a community out here. There's a camaraderie out here.
Yeah.
Man, that is just so great. We're proud to be.
And we just
East Texas
did a
Sonic.
podcast yesterday with a guy named David Sweat, who's a pretty good drummer around here.
Oh, he's all right.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
But
I
you know,
played with him Sunday.
he came from Austin. He grew up in Austin, and one of the questions we asked him was the difference in the music scene in Austin as opposed to East Texas. And he answered with one word, and that was support.
Yeah.
You know, everybody in East Texas, from musicians to fans to everybody, just supports each other.
And yeah, Austin still has that too. But what it is now that there's a certain level of. Because I've hung out a lot in Austin.
And that's another word he used was competition.
There's a lot
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Austin.
But
it's
so
all
in Austin they
competition.
want to share now, but it's like you got to be beyond the startup. Here it's like, hey, you want to play? There's still that startup hungry for now.
Precisely.
In Austin, there's still there's more camaraderie in Austin than Nashville. But even in Austin, there's that little. You got to have this level. Got to be this tall to ride the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's a much more humble.
You kind of got to know the password.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You got to know
yeah.
the password.
Exactly.
Austin still.
That's
better
one
than
thing we're
Nashville.
trying to
Let's
change.
go on the record saying Austin is still better than Nashville.
I would agree with that, though, for sure. But I mean, that's one of the things personally I'm trying to change in East Texas is trying to get to that level of an Austin or that level Shreveport, even. You know, trying to get that level here. I want people to come from Austin to go to an East Texas show instead of the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that's been severely lacking around here, and that's one of my goals.
Well, you're the guy to hit that spear.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure.
I think it will happen.
I'm certainly trying. So I know you guys are all very successful musicians individually as well. So we'll talk to you guys a little bit one-on-one. So we'll go with Willie, I guess, first. Willie, how long have you been in the business or playing in general?
Oh man, wow. Let me get my
20
charts.
years?
Let me pull my charts out. This is the sound of a chart coming out. I've been around a long time, man. About over 20 years. I started out playing upright for an act that was at the crest of something big happening with, and it didn't. And I used all the momentum from that to start a solo career. And that started. I made my first solo record in 1999.
Wow.
And I was lucky right away to play with like Deke Dickerson and Big Sandy right out of the gate because of the notoriety I had as the upright player. I started out as an upright player for the act that I was attached to. Then, luckily, quick on, man, I did some shows with Wayne the Train, and then I wound up doing a show with Hank Williams III. He took me under his wing for a long time. Just been going at it now for about 20 years.
So would you say you were pretty lucky starting out?
I was not lucky. It was all connections that I was just smart enough to remember names.
Yeah.
You know?
So kind of like late 90s networking.
Yeah.
You gotta write it with a pencil instead of typing.
Yeah, that's right.
That's true. Yeah.
Old school, man.
So how'd you get started? Did you have musicians in your family or?
The only person I know that played any music is my mother's father played banjo. But that's it. I'm rare. Everybody else in my family, there's arts all through my bloodline, but
Right.
I don't know if it's music.
So what was that moment that you witnessed where you were just like, hey man, that's what I want to do? Was there a moment like that or?
I'm sure there was. I just don't recall it right now.
Could you make something up?
I can't. I mean, something at Disney World. I was at the Texas Bear Jamboree, and I had just seen the Zac Brown video, and I knew that I wanted to be when I grew up.
Yeah.
Back in what year was that?
Wait, what?
I think Zac Brown might have been indicted.
I will know when something changed, and then we can get off of me. That's what your mom said.
Really?
Man, I was in this little semi, doing pretty well, but just like cookie cutter rockabilly band out of Atlanta called Big Red Rock at the time. And man, when I found out what Wayne Hancock was, that dude was like 96. That guy was like the first art changed everything. I was done. But at that same time, I hadn't been hit Steve Earle. I mean, I knew Copperhead Road, everybody knew it. That's the same time that he made that record right out of prison, Train of Coming record. So I got,
great record.
at the same time, man, I got turned on to that Wayne the Train record and that Steve Earle record at the same time. That was it. It was all done. I knew right then. It was like, I am playing music for the rest of my damn life. Those, both, and I had many influences around those, but those were the two decisive, that Thunderstorms and Neon Signs and Steve Earle's Train of Coming record, the first release. Those were the ones that were like, I'm doing this. I can no longer sing stupid songs about hot rods and sock hops. It's like, I can't just, do the cookie cutter rockabilly crap anymore. I gotta sing a song with some substance behind it.
Right.
So, that was it. That's my spiel.
So just a little bit off topic. You mentioned records. Tell me, each of you, your 3 favorite albums of all time.
Oh, man.
Redheaded Stranger.
You took that.
That's I know that's one that some of us will share.
I'm going to take Redheaded Stranger as well because that one is brilliant.
Top, how many? 5?
3.
3.
Oh. So, man, I got to retract that because definitely at first, well, no, it's in there, but it's hard to have only 3 because Steve Earle's Train of Coming, but then Guitar Town. I went back. Guitar Town is like,
Guitar Town.
But Thunderstorms Neon Signs definitely a life-changing record. But then again, man, so were some Misfit records. That's a hard question.
Yeah.
3 is a low number to do
How
that.
about what artists and just not their albums?
Yeah, how
Can we
about
do
artists?
Okay, let's do artists.
Let's do
Alright,
albums
so-
alphabetically. How about that?
Let's do it. I don't know my
I would
alphabet.
say artists, Dwight Yoakam, Buck Owens, and Willie Nelson. Waylon.
Yeah, Waylon. I mean, those are the givens.
Yeah, but Dwight and Buck have both been huge inspirations to me from very early on. I didn't know a whole lot about this genre until I met Willie and David. And then it was just kind of like, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Yeah, you educated me.
We educated.
By that I mean Willie educated me. No.
But she had all that. All that was in her, man. Once we tapped that little keg, and she found so much shit on her own, and then she'd be like, "Have you heard?" Oh, I said, "Can't say."
That's okay. We'll put a disclaimer on it.
Yeah.
But a beep.
That would go away. Dang Mormons. They're always like,
Can't say that either. Hey.
go away. She's a good
So
hearted
wait a minute,
Mormon.
we need David. What are your 3 artists or albums?
Shoot, well, I was thinking because I've already on the track. The album, of course, was Guitar Town, Diamonds and Dust by Rodney Crowell. And I was trying to. There's so many that could come after that. It would just, but right off the bat would be those 2. And it wouldn't be anything Merle Haggard or anything Johnny Cash did, anything Johnny
those
Page
guys,
did.
those guys go without saying, and
That
everybody
does go
knows
without
that.
saying.
So
Because those guys are always influences. But like when I heard Thunderstorm Johnson, direction changing. Same when I was a young man and heard Misfits, it was like direction
Yeah, so
changing.
I guess a little more like, okay, Dwight Yoakam would be Tomorrow Sounds Today.
Yeah.
That one was
fabulous
brilliant.
record.
Would you say you guys any of y'all had an inspiration outside the genre that you guys currently perform in?
Man, I only associate people in my genre.
That's not true.
I don't
So you don't
stray-
identify as a
I
different
don't
genre.
stray over to other genres.
I only had a strip club one night.
Well, okay, but listen, Elvis isn't technically country, he's rock and roll, and Elvis has inspired all of us.
Yeah, well, but yeah, what's funny is that when Elvis started, there was no term. The term rock and roll didn't come around to the late 50s. So he was doing it.
But I'm saying if somebody looked at us and thought,
You're right,
our
it's
genre
rock and-
isn't Elvis's genre.
But you know what's funny is that now you look back at that stuff. Now they call that stuff when Elvis came out. That stuff was like dirty, disgusting. It was like 2 Live Crew to them.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still, it's like later on when you get into like what rock and roll became, that they start looking at that and calling it country. And good music, man. You know what? Here's what it breaks down to. With us and like people that. A lot of people. There is no more, and a good song is not bound by genre. We're a country band because we make music. It comes out country. But I like lots of things, even though country music is the dominant one. But she's like, man, I love me some Elvis, but I also love me some Levon Helms.
Oh my God,
You know,
yeah.
and I'll stop in my tracks to hear a good Johnny Cash song played. A Johnny Cash song.
Any Johnny Cash.
Any Johnny Cash
That's a
song.
good song.
But also, man, Dean Martin's a huge.
I mean, Johnny Cash made a song about a boa constrictor sound cool.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
He made a song about a chicken robbing people with a gun. But man, also, you know, I'll stop in my tracks when I hear Mike Ness. I'll stop in my tracks when I hear Dean Martin.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a lot, man.
Yeah.
We're just a big gumbo. Half of my voice trying to figure out how to sing was trying to, you know, once I want to learn how to croon, so I started listening to Dean Martin stuff to learn how, you know. So there's, man, just I couldn't ever make a list of.
You could. It would just be real long.
It'd be sporadic. It looked like Michael J. Fox wrote it down.
That's not nice.
That's not nice.
That's not nice. Behave yourself.
Yeah, but that's a hard question.
Well, I mean, technically, Michael J. Fox is still alive, so that's not an off-color joke.
No,
Yeah.
he meant it in a.
I know what he meant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna cut.
All right, so we'll move over to Kira. Kira, how long have you? When did you start singing? And
Well, I
Getting
said,
involved.
you know, could sing young, but I was too cool for it, and you know, decided to do stupid stuff instead. I started singing in a band probably about 10 years ago, and it was just a cover band with my brother and a friend of his. And then I saw these guys and met Willie and David and all the other guys in the big ensemble we were in, and I, you know, signed on with them for just to be a singer. And I watched them play on stage, and I learned 3-4 chords. And I went home that night and wrote my first song.
so you already knew one more chord than Elvis.
There you go. And I was not nearly as good as Elvis. But I went home and wrote a song, and we played it live like a week later, and they were just always super supportive and really taught me a lot about music and helped me grow. And like all good things, that came to an end, but some great things came out of it. Still friends with these idiots.
Idiots.
I mean, great men.
I thought she was talking about you. Dave.
Well, idiots, and I think that in Swedish that does translate
Yeah,
out to
that's
great
what I
men.
meant. I was
Indeed.
just trying to mix up the language barriers.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to be, you know, as
Yeah.
out there as we can.
So I'm, you know, a lot of good things came from it, but I was groomed by some very cool people, and Willie mainly just really helped learning how to play and showing me different songs that he knew I would love, and you know, like I said, we still do a lot of that stuff that I learned early on. We still do it today.
Cool. And what kind of different projects have you worked on since you started singing in a band?
Well, that big ensemble. Then I tried to have a band by myself. Like, you know, it was my band. I was the leader of it. And David played.
I was
played
in that band.
rhythm
I was
and
in that band.
That was
David
an
played
interesting.
rodeo.
That was an interesting band.
So David was the one you sent to the bar to get.
No, David.
But it was fun. We
It
had a
was
good
fun
time.
while it lasted. When I look back on it now, I realize what a mess I was, and that I had no business leading a band at that time.
Oh, you weren't leading. We just got it for play.
From that, yeah, there was no leading.
All right, okay, all right.
Yeah, okay, I'll be on your best
Good
behaviors.
people from RCA. Mercury Records is here tonight.
So then I,
Okay.
you know, I have my own band. I was just playing kind of by myself-ish for a little while, trying to record that EP, and that we used more as like a demo to kind of get where I am now.
Mhm.
And now I do this trio thing. I sing with my own band, recording the first full-length album, but I've also done backup for some
About
pretty
everything
special
coming
people.
down Atlanta right now.
Yeah, the studio that I got involved with, Greenhouse Atlanta, who's recording my album. They helped with Willie's South Americana album as well. The woman who runs that, Nancy K. Hill, she had some hits in the 90s under the name Rosie. I'm not in the 90s, I lied. In the early 2000s, under the name Rosie. Still goes by.
2090.
And 2009
did
that's
she do
what I
any-
meant. She's from the future.
Did she do any songs that were written by Zach Brown? Per
She
chance?
did tons of them. No, but
God, I hope not.
so I did some backup on her album that'll come out whenever she gets around to it. She's busy helping everybody else be successful right now.
She also sang on.
I sing on Blacktop
Blacktop
Rockets
Rockets
album.
record.
They're a legendary rockabilly band out of Atlanta. They've been around for what, like 25
Yeah.
years. Some brilliant guys out of there. Got to sing on that album. Got to sing on Willie's album.
Yeah, you did.
Which is awesome.
She got to make a fart noise on my record.
I just made
song
fart
about
noises
beans I
the
got
whole
on there.
time, and I just went.
So
But
basically,
it's
she
still
just
me,
kind of did
folks.
the photobomb version of.
It's
Getting
a
on the album.
song about the cattle, the beanie scene in Played
Yeah.
Saddles.
So y'all check it out and know that all the fart noises are me.
So I know
but
you guys are pretty successful as a trio and pretty good, successfully as individual as well. But when you guys are in Atlanta, you guys also have a duo that you guys run as
We
well.
do.
Yeah, but we're here talking about $37 Trio.
Well, we are, but we want to learn more about each of you as well.
It's
It's called the Waymores.
it's called the Waymores. What did we say?
Um,
I said this is about $37
Yeah.
Trio.
we do it with the Waymores in Atlanta. It's about the same as the trio, just missing David.
It's missing David. And we don't add
So that makes it
anything
way
to
less.
And
And
it's way
David,
more.
David
Way more
calls
than
it the bitch group.
The bitch
because
group.
He's jealous.
That's right.
well, I mean, when you guys are in Atlanta with the Waymores, David's out here with the double nickel,
Yeah.
and then when you guys come back to the East Texas, the five of you come back together, and I mean,
And all hell.
Friday night when you
Yeah.
guys played the first show at Players, it was like it was back in February,
Yeah.
man. It really was. And you
Well,
just
it's because they're all dialed in.
you guys do not miss a beat,
Well, that's good.
And I mean,
I
I know
miss
you
the
guys
whole
were giving it up to Dog Panty and hey man, you finally learned how to play bass and whatever. But it's cool to see that instant chemistry return as soon as you guys are in the same room again.
Yeah, that's what.
And I
man.
know my girlfriend and I, every time you guys go back home, it's like, man, I'm really gonna miss them again.
We miss everybody
Yeah,
out
miss
here when we
everybody.
leave. We, I mean, we of course miss the music and miss playing it, but sometimes we miss more of the people.
Yeah,
Like
it's
when
kind
we
of the
know we're
family
coming back,
connection,
we're like,
you
oh my
know?
god, I can't wait to see this person or this person.
Right.
It's never David though.
Well, I think with David, it's just because his jokes never change.
He's in radio land. David is shaking his head no.
We were really proud of David because he came up with a new joke a few shows ago.
Yeah,
did?
it's awesome.
Yeah.
I did.
I mailed it to him about a week ago.
somebody write it down so I can remember it?
Look, we hired monkeys to work around the clock for David's jokes, and they're just
And you know what?
burning the candle at
When
both
you run out of
ends.
bananas, those monkeys quit writing jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Real
When
quick.
you run out of nanner money, there are no more
Man,
jokes.
money. It's time to hit the produce section,
Yeah.
Smith.
All right, so we'll move on to Mr. David. I'm sorry, the David Smith.
It's the.
Don't
Duh.
say it.
Duh.
The
It's gonna be
The
David.
It's gonna be David Smith.
So, David, tell us what inspired you to get into music.
That crappy shit they play on the radio.
You already had to put a disclaimer on it.
Oh, I
Can we
put
just
no
say
disclaimer.
shit?
Well, you know what? There's already a cuss word in it, and we're going to have to disclaimer it, so
Yeah.
Thank God. Pressure's off.
let's still try to
Well,
keep
that
it.
hot country crap they're putting out there on the radio, who wouldn't want to come out?
What are the
with
four
something?
things that have killed music?
Rap, disco, karaoke, pop, country, not necessarily in that order.
You're welcome. I led you into
Video.
your joke.
I have video of David doing 3 of the 4 lists.
But that's when I worked at the strip club.
Yeah, he strip teased me into this Toby Keith song.
Yeah.
So you guys all met.
You hear me now?
You guys met in Georgia, and then David kind of moved west to East Texas. How did that affect your career and getting after the music?
Well, when I was in Georgia, I was always playing with Willie or Kira, one or two all the time. I was doing some solo stuff, but not much. And so I moved to Texas, and I don't, come to town, don't know anyone, just kind of started meeting some people. And at that time, we had an activity in Longview called Art Walk, and somebody heard I played and called me up and said, "Hey, you want to come play?" I said, "Sure, I can play." And from Art Walk, went to Alley Fest. I got to play at Alley Fest and things. And so I started, then I met a guy named Daniel Foster, who was very successful around, had a pretty good solo
You
career.
don't know the Daniel Foster.
The Daniel Foster.
Daniel Foster.
Everybody
So,
can buy the out here.
so wait a minute. Is
The
it
Foster.
the Daniel Foster and the David
Yeah.
Smith?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm trying to get
Yeah,
this.
keep it straight, Barnes.
The and the. I got it now.
But, Daniel started inviting me to go and play solo shows with him. So I'd go with him, we'd play, and I'd go up massive venue. Hey, can you book me in? They booked me. And And so it just kind of started spreading out, and I wound up, up at the court there like they were talking earlier. And they wanted to come out and visit. I said, well, shoot, if y'all gonna come out and visit, we're gonna book a show. We're gonna make a party out of this, and that's what we did. And that's how we're got here today. So
is that how you reconnected with them? It's just
we were always.
Oh, there was never a disconnect.
I have to send her alimony payments every month.
No, he doesn't.
Well,
there's the new joke.
And his wife cleans my house.
I'm behind on them, but okay.
No, there was never a disconnect. We always kept in real close touch with each other, even when David was out here for his move. And Willie and I'd sit at home and cry late at night because David wasn't around.
Oh
wait, that's not how it happened.
Mine were tears of joy.
Did you guys write any songs about it? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, it's called "Thank God in Greyhound You're Gone."
Thank God in Greyhound You're Gone. Playing our song.
So what's it like for each of you guys as individual artists outside of the trio to juggle your different projects with that of the trio?
You got to keep your priorities in order and keep your head on straight, because it can get confusing at times. You get insulted when somebody wants to do something else, or get your feelings hurt or some shit. There, you just got to learn real quick that there's no room in music for feelings.
Yeah, you have to just watch it. You have to keep up your calendar, and you got to know. I mean, there are things like my career comes first, but her career comes first, and it's the compromise of everyone. Hey, this all kind of started because we all had downtime.
Right.
But as it's come on and we all started to get busy, everybody's got a record. David's had his little project come out. Her record's about to come out. Mine's about to come out. Start getting busy individually, which is a great thing because everyone's success or push just makes this stronger.
Right.
But it's tricky. You got to watch your calendar and you got to, obligate. And that's one thing. It's like, hey, this club wants me to play with my full band and I've already committed to this. So it's not worth it, but if something comes up of like, hey, you're going to go out on the road in front of so-and-so for 15 days, like, I have to go to this.
Right.
Like for the Brazil, I have to go to Brazil. We found subs. It's a planned thing. It's not like me just canceling a show because my personal career had something. It's like, I had this on the calendar first, and it's just keeping up with your calendar and actually caring about each other's careers and what you got going on. It's a balancing thing, but you find a medium for it.
And knowing that it's always supposed to be fun. It's not, who was it said it's not brain surgery, it's heart surgery?
Yeah.
Songs, music?
Yeah, something like I think, did I write that?
Yeah, but it's, it's supposed to be fun.
Well, it is because, Willie's got his career going on. You got, now we've got the double nickel band going. So all of a sudden you got three people, like fronting shows, 3-hour shows. But when we come together, hey, I get to sing 2/3 less.
That's what I love. I mean, even, just from the Waymores at home, I still get to sing a lot less. I sing with both of y'all when y'all are singing, but it's not me having to, the full focus be on me.
Right,
And it's the same for you, that it's kind of a break and I welcome it. It's, thank God, they get to take on some of the load now.
Right.
And I know Willie feels the same way. And so at some points it's a lot, it's a welcome, ease to your schedule. And at other points it's hard to find the time to do it. And we all get, frustrated because we want to be here so much. And David wants us out here and then we can't be. And David wants us out here.
Yes, I do, yeah.
And we can't be sometimes, and that sucks, but we always make it, make it comes back into play.
So outside the music, how do you guys unwind? Are there certain things you guys like to do? Hobbies?
We can't talk about
We
drugs
can't talk
on
about
here,
this
can
on
we?
our podcast.
Drugs.
We don't have a lot of hobbies.
Well, I know you're a mom, for example.
That ain't a hobby, though.
That's a job, right there.
And that's a harder job than playing music.
Absolutely, I agree.
I am mother of an 11-year-old, and she's fantastic. She's very musically driven. She plays guitar, ukulele, piano, drums. She's gonna do jazz band in middle school. So she'll be far better than I've ever been as far as music goes. But I'm not gonna let her take on music as a career, because I'd just be a terrible mother.
You let her do whatever she wants to do.
No, she can do whatever she wants, but that takes up, I've got a really great family at home, and my daughter's father is great too, and he can take it on when I'm on the road. He watches her, my mother watches her, everybody kind of comes together to support me, which is pretty
cool.
Unfounded and unheard of, but I have it, and it's awesome.
Cool. And what about you, David?
No, music is my hobby, my passion. Cause I'm on a mission to kill pop country, so I can't slow down.
How many kids do you have that you know of, though?
I've only made payments on one.
Okay. Thank God for that. So
I know, right?
Loving them and leaving them is
Because
paying off.
there's way too many Smiths out there already. You know what I mean?
There's no telling.
But somebody amazes a lot of our fans and stuff out here. They come up to us and they say, "When did y'all practice?" I said, "We don't practice. We have played together so much that even when we come together, they come back out and say, "Hey, I got a new song we're gonna do." We just kind of run through it real quick, boom, we take it on stage. And so that's what's made such a unique dynamic about what we do.
My hobbies other than music.
You didn't bring me a drink either?
I didn't bring.
I like how you told us
first.
you had to go pee. but
I
you
did.
wouldn't make
I
it.
went. I went 10
I
minutes.
needed a drink for
Hey,
the last 10 minutes.
Willie's also a ventriloquist. He is currently throwing his voice
Yeah.
From the kitchen.
from the kitchen.
You can have a sip of this if you want. Oh.
Want me to make you a drink?
Alcohol abuse.
Ah,
Yes, Marianne,
and then
thank
the
you.
bar wind shows up. Please, man.
Which one?
Jack and water, please.
Jack and water?
Or whiskey water.
Whiskey and water. I don't like fishing a whole lot. Did you talk about fishing?
Oh, I didn't. I just talked about Ella.
Oh.
Yeah, Willie and I go fishing as much as we possibly can. Bass fishing.
Yeah.
We love that.
I like some camping. Like some fishing. Like some hobbies that we can't mention on the podcast.
We discussed that.
Oh, we did?
We didn't discuss the hobbies.
We
said
discussed
we
not
had-
talking about the
We
hobbies.
discussed it. I'm like, dang.
Man, I missed out on a good time.
Yeah.
I always pick the wrong time to go to the
Don't
restroom.
you know
You
it?
picked the wrong week to keep sniffing glue.
No. We
So what do you
didn't.
guys have coming up as individuals, and what's next for the trio? You guys coming back to East Texas?
Of course.
We're trying to get it scheduled, man, but we don't have a date yet.
You'll be the first to know.
Yeah, you'll know before it even happens.
Yeah, that's that little bit of chaos that goes with all this is everything in the industry is putting a bunch of, throwing a bunch of bait out, using a
Hoping
fishing.
something hooks.
Using
There
a
you go.
fishing
I
metaphor.
see what you did there.
Throwing
You're tying
out
it
a
back
bunch of
together.
hooks and wait to
That's-
see what bites.
In the business, we call that a segue.
A segue.
He would have known that, but he ran out of syllables earlier in the show.
That was one of the things fat people got around.
I thought when you rode that 2 wheels, you rode around. That's a segue.
That's a segue.
I like how y'all say you roll around in it. That's fall off of it.
Yeah.
There's no rolling around on that. What's coming up for me is the new album should be out October, November, and then we'll start hopefully hot and heavy with my band. In between the moments that Willie's hot and heavy with his band,
Yeah.
and then every once in a while, Willie and I'll see each other.
Every now and again.
Then we'll come here and see David and play some music.
As long as he
Willie's-
keeps the payments up,
Willie's
right?
got some pretty exciting things coming up. What you got?
I just made this cocktail. I'm gonna drink that. That's pretty
Sweet. Willie leaves for Brazil 4 days after we
After
get
we get
home
off from
from
this.
Texas
Yeah.
for a 5-week tour,
Mm-hmm.
26 cities, 29 days.
Yeah. A lot of shows. Then I
Have you been to Brazil before?
Last time he went for 2 months.
Yeah, 2
And
months.
I cried a lot. So now
It's a
this
good-
time he's only going for 5 weeks.
Yeah. Because I cried a lot. It's awesome down there, and they really love the music, but it's very fatiguing.
Willie's like royalty down there. I mean, he needs like security. It's insane.
Yeah. And after a while, man, that just not speaking the language and
Right.
always on the go.
But the
Missing
music still
people at
connects
home.
with those people, though.
Yeah, way,
Yeah.
man, way, it's more, way more. Even.
Way more.
But man, it's even that way when you go to
He's
Europe.
on a roll, people.
Even when you go to Europe and tour, that's like, man, they genuinely look. You have to beat your head on a rock here to make people pay attention.
Right.
East Texas and lots of places in Texas, it's like being in Europe or another country where they're really, really starving for live music.
Mhm.
Most places, man, you're just beating your head on a rock, and you go to other countries and they eat it up.
Right. And David, what about you? What's coming up for you?
Well, I got some double nickel stuff coming up. I got a solo gig coming up at Andy Skinner's second Thursday in July. We got a couple of double nickel bands coming up. We're doing a benefit July 31st at Herb and D's. There's going to be a lot of great acts there playing there. We start at 1:30 and run up to 10 o'clock. So that's going to be exciting. Got a double nickel band again September 2nd at Herb and D's. And Double Nickel Band, what's in a place at the Crawfish
Barn.
and Barn in Bullard.
Yeah, Mount Selman area. I'm not even sure of what the date is, but where can they find information on the Double Nickel Band?
You can go to Facebook, keep up with Double Nickel Band, keep up $37 Trio, keep up with Kira on a Leash, keep up with.
Wait, did you just call me Kira on a leash?
I think he did.
Is that what it is?
You know what it is? You look so innocent when you said it. No. Damn it.
No.
Kira on a leash.
leash.
Like you're on a lease at
That's what I
your
said.
building and it's about to get cut up.
That's what I said, on a leash.
Not.
You're not on a leash tied to your building.
And Willie, do you have any social media pages outside of the?
Why, yes, I do. I have rockkickass.com. Awesome bastard.
WillieHeathmeal.com.
Oh, willheathmeal.com. What about? I thought I told you to get rockkickass.
I did not get rockkickass.com.
Damn it.
WillieHeathmeal.com.
TurdFerguson.org.
Facebook.com/WillieHeathmeal. Please don't look up Turd Ferguson to find Willie Heathmeal.
Boogerfinger Brown.
Boogerfingerbrown.com.
Please.
That's his ticket page.
You can really, if you Google the man's name, you'll be sorely
It's
disappointed.
You'd be sorely disappointed.
You'll find it.
You won't be sorely, it's surly. You'll be surely disappointed. Which means you'll be disappointed and still quite whimsical.
Oh,
At
dear.
WWI.
Please stop. Can I wait the time to be done?
Yeah, we're almost done. Let me reiterate. It's willieheathneal.com. You can find the $37 Trio on Facebook, all spelled out, not numbers. It's THIRTY. Yes, Dollar Trio on
You have to do that
Facebook.
for folks in Alabama. You have to spell it out.
Yeah.
You can find David Smith on the David Smith
The.
on Facebook. Also, Double Nickel Band on Facebook. They're in East Texas year round. Make sure you like the $37 Trio page for their next upcoming tour. I will be one of the first to find out when that is. So
You can also find me at Kira Annalise on
I was
Facebook.
working on it.
Or KiraAnnalise.com.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Miss Assistant. He was almost there. You were there.
I was
Thank you.
almost
I was
there
like,
and you
look,
pulled
your
it away from
barn's
me.
moving a little too fast.
Yeah.
Guys, we want to thank you once again for tuning in to ETX Rocks. Remember to support local music, and ETX Rocks.
Woo!
Covering music-related content of all genres. If it filters through Eastern Texas, it's fair game. Y'all bring it. From Texarkana down to the coast and Dallas down to Houston and everything in between. We are